In the mid-20th century, a new generation of American soldiers arrived in Vietnam, full of purpose. They stepped into a land unlike any they had known, a vibrant yet volatile new world. Initial days were spent constructing a foothold, a temporary home in a hostile land. Soon, the briefings began, mapping out the unknown challenges that lay ahead.
The jungle quickly became their battleground, a labyrinth of green where danger lurked unseen. Every step was a struggle, burdened by equipment, under the relentless tropical sun. The first crack of distant rifle fire shattered any illusions of a peaceful deployment. Every shadow, every rustle, now held the potential for a hidden enemy. The terrain itself was an adversary, slowing their progress, draining their resolve. Hours turned into an agonizing wait, the stillness punctuated only by their own pounding hearts. The grim reality of war quickly became apparent, costing lives and shattering innocence. Back in camp, the weight of their experiences began to settle, heavy and cold. Letters from home offered a fleeting connection, a bittersweet reminder of a world far away. But writing back, they often found themselves grappling with what to share and what to hide. Night brought little respite, only heightened vigilance against an enemy that moved in shadows. The landscape was an endless series of obstacles, each one a test of endurance and courage. The silent threat of booby traps instilled a constant, debilitating fear. Every foot of ground had to be painstakingly cleared, a methodical dance with death. The oppressive heat and suffocating humidity became as much an enemy as any soldier. Then came the monsoons, turning the jungle into a relentless, soaking nightmare. Brief moments of respite, shared in quiet camaraderie, were treasured. Every decision weighed heavily. A single wrong turn could mean disaster. Suddenly, chaos, the terrifying reality of an unseen enemy striking without warning. Survival demanded an immediate, ferocious response, a primal struggle for life. The smoke cleared, but the tension lingered, a chilling reminder of proximity to death. The wounded became a stark visual of the war's true cost, a heavy burden to bear. The thud of helicopter blades, a sound of hope, signaling a brief escape from the jungle's grip. The enemy was rarely seen, yet always felt, a ghost in the trees. Every camp became a fortress, every moment a defense against the night. Meals were simple, a basic necessity, often eaten in tense silence. As weeks bled into months, many began to question the ultimate purpose of their presence. An overwhelming sense of isolation began to settle, cutting them off from everything familiar. Their weapons became an extension of themselves, constantly maintained, always ready.
The lines between friend and foe blurred, fostering an unsettling sense of distrust.
The echoes of battle resonated deep within, haunting their every waking moment.
Physical exhaustion pushed them to their limits, blurring the lines of vigilance. The enemy's guerrilla tactics were elusive, defying conventional warfare. Often, they waited,
in a limbo of uncertainty for orders that would dictate their next fate. Morale began to wane, replaced by a growing sense of hopelessness and frustration.
The jungle himself was a cunning adversary, full of hidden dangers and sudden betrayals. Fear, raw and inescapable, began to define their daily existence. Even in sleep, peace was elusive, replaced by vivid, terrifying nightmares.
As doubts grew, so did the friction, questions challenging the chain of command. For some, the crushing weight of their experiences led to moments of profound despair.
They gazed at horizons, longing for a different view, a world free from conflict. The war stole more than lives. It eroded the very innocence of those who fought. The elements became a constant, brutal companion, magnifying their suffering. The jungle at night transformed into a realm of terrifying unknowns, every sound a potential threat.
Amidst the brutality, acts of selfless courage shone through, particularly from their medics.
The darkness was not just visual. It was a cloak for their anxieties, their deepest fears. For those in command, the burden of leadership was immense, every choice carrying deadly consequences. Attempts to connect with the outside world often highlighted the vast, unbridgeable chasm.
The insidious threat of snipers meant danger could come from anywhere, at any time. Their senses were heightened, constantly searching for the elusive enemy, hidden amongst the foliage.
The relentless stress began to take a profound psychological toll, numbing their very souls.
Moments of longing for home became more frequent, a yearning for what they'd lost.
Frustration festered, turning into bitter anger at their circumstances, at the war itself. Whispers of doubt grew louder, shared in hushed conversations under the cloak of night.
Open fields of tall grass offered little cover, making them feel exposed and vulnerable.
Every patrol held a close call, a stark reminder of life's precariousness. The acrid smell of napalm became synonymous with the war's destructive power. Life in the bunkers was monotonous, confined, a stark contrast to their lives back home.
Despite the horrors, a flicker of hope for an end to the fighting persisted.
Sometimes, the silence was more terrifying than the noise, signaling an unknown threat.
Many sought solace in faith, or in quiet moments of introspection, searching for meaning.
The tropical heat was a constant, debilitating adversary, draining their strength.
Even amidst the darkness, moments of genuine human connection could spark a fleeting smile.
The journey seemed endless, each day a repetition of the last, pushing them further. A sudden movement, a fleeting shadow, was enough to trigger their primal instincts. Combat left them utterly spent, not just physically, but deep within their very core.
The initial clarity of their mission began to cloud, replaced by gnawing uncertainty. News from home, particularly about rising dissent, fueled their own growing apprehension.
Disillusionment became a silent companion, a heavy cloak over their spirits.
The fundamental question, why, echoed through their minds, often without a satisfying answer. Each lost comrade deepened the pain, and intensified their quiet questioning of the price paid.
The cycle of patrols, seemingly without end, wore down their spirits like erosion.
Fatigue evolved into a pervasive apathy, a shield against the endless emotional toll. The roar of artillery became a constant backdrop, a symphony of destruction.
In shared moments, they sought to understand each other's fears, their hidden truths. Cynicism crept in, corroding their faith in the mission and in those who sent them.
Tactical withdrawals became more frequent, a sign of changing realities and strategic shifts. The authority of command was increasingly questioned, met with open defiance. The aftermath of battle, a profound and heavy silence, spoke volumes of the devastation.
Dreams of normalcy, of a life untouched by war, became their constant companions.
Every injury was a stark reminder of their vulnerability, the body's fragile nature.
The jungle seemed to stretch endlessly, an unconquerable, living entity. Each lost comrade was a piece of themselves, a wound that would never fully heal.
Bitterness became a constant companion, a reaction to perceived futility and betrayal.
Temporary camps offered fragile islands of safety, moments to simply exist. The enemy often melted away as quickly as they appeared, leaving uncertainty in their wake.
Many sought answers, struggling to reconcile their experiences with their original beliefs.
Letters from home were a lifeline, yet also a painful reminder of what they were missing. Their gaze, directed outwards, seemed to ask, was it all worth it? Sleep offered little escape. Their minds remained on high alert, even in slumber.
The path forward often seemed endless, a road paved with uncertainty and sacrifice.
A profound weariness settled into their bones, a fatigue that transcended the physical.
The scars of war were not always visible, etching themselves deep within the mind.
The future, once clear, now appeared shrouded in mist, uncertain and foreboding.
Eventually, many surrendered to a quiet resignation, accepting their fate.
In their suffering, they found an unspoken bond, a companionship forged in fire.
The faces in old photographs became their anchor, a constant ache for what awaited them.
Silence, once a comfort, now often amplified their inner turmoil, their doubts.
Even in profound exhaustion, the tactical mind continued to churn, seeking advantage. The dust and grime of war became a permanent veneer, a part of their very being.
Whispers of impending rotation, of a return home, offered a fragile thread of hope.
Each patrol could be their last, imbuing every step with an unnerving significance.
A profound understanding grew between them, forged in fire, a silent, unbreakable bond.
The weight of their memories became a constant companion, a heavy burden carried within.
The journey home began, a return to a world that would never quite be the same.
The silence of the journey home was filled with unspoken thoughts, fears, and memories.
As the landscapes changed, a glimpse of home offered a bittersweet promise of peace. Many returned with wounds unseen, scars etched deep within their minds and souls. The flag, once a symbol of unwavering purpose, now evolved a complex tapestry of emotions. The war in Vietnam left an indelible mark, shaping a generation of American soldiers forever. Their fear and their doubt became part of a silent